multiplication. Examples. Simplify root 15 times root 20. Solution. Now we have square root of 15 multiplied by square root of 20. Then simplifying this. For surd, you can multiply the number inside the square root together directly. Because based on the principle or the law of surd, we can have root A times root B to give us what? Root A times root B. But it is possible, if you don't want to use that approach, if there is a perfect square in a particular surd, then you need to simplify first before you can multiply together. You can also use that approach. Like for example, now we have 20. And 20 is a number that contains a perfect square. 20 is not a perfect square, but it contains a perfect square number. And what is the highest perfect square number we can have in 20? And that is 4. So we can simplify this 20. But the highest perfect square we can have in 15 is still 1. And we are not interested in 1. So this root 15 will remain the same. But simplifying root 20 now, we have this to be what? 5 times 4. Because the highest perfect square number is 4. So simplifying further, we have root 15. Then multiply by what? Applying this law from this form to this form again. We now have this to be what? Root 5 times root 4. And this is the same thing as what? What are we having? This is root 15. Then multiply by what? What are we having from here? We can have this to be root 5. And root 4 is what? That's 2. So this is 2 root 5. We have this to be 2 root 5 from here. Now if you want to multiply, we multiply inside to inside. That is, what you have inside the square root, we multiply what you have inside square root. And what you have as a coefficient of the square root number, we multiply equivalent coefficient of square root number. What am I saying? What is the coefficient of root 15 here is 1. So this 1, we multiply this. 1 we multiply 2. Likewise, 15 we multiply 5. That's the principle. So from here, we can now have 1 times 2. What are we having? That is 2. So this is like writing 2 root 15 times 5. 15 times 5 is what? That is 75. And in this case, 75 now, you can't leave it as this. Because 75 that you are having now also contain a perfect square number. So you can't leave your answer as this. You have to simplify root 75 again. And what is the highest perfect square number we can have in 75? That is 25. So we need to simplify that also. So this will give us 25 times 3 will give us 75. So what are we having? This is like writing 2 into root 25 times root 3. So what do we have? What is root 25? Root 25 will give us what? That is 5. So this is like writing 2 into what? What is root 25? That is 5. Then multiply by root 3. So what are we having here? This is like 10 root 3. So 10 root 3 is the answer. So we can also use the second method to solve it. If you want to multiply directly, then that one will be faster for this kind of form we are having now. When you have root 15 times root 20, if I multiply directly, what will I have? I will have 2 times 15 is 30. So 15 times 20 will give us what? 300. So by applying this law, moving from the left-hand side to the right-hand side directly, I will have root 15 times 20. Now, what is root 15? What is 15 times 20 rather? 15 times 20 will give us what? That's 300. So in this case, we can now simplify this 300 further. There's a perfect square in 300, which is the highest perfect square, and that is 100. So we can write root 300 as 100 times 3. And what do we have? We are going to have root 100 times root 3, based on this law also. So in this case, what is the square root of 100? That's 10. So this is 10 times root 3. And the answer is 10 root 3. You can see we have the same answer. That is the solution to the problem. Thank you.